Here's yet another short story. This is like the second one along these lines I found this week. All about a guy whose job was almost lost and his career put in jeopardy because some female coworker he was helping decides that she has a bug up her rear end and decides to report him and all that. However, fortunately, this guy's good coworkers have backed him up, and guess who's in a difficult situation? She is, because she can't do her job without this guy's help. And he's like, nope, and I'll be going to remind you guys in the workplace, because obviously you guys have to have jobs unless you're trust fund brats. Then in the workplace, you keep it professional. You never are alone with them. You make sure there's somebody else around. You don't go out of your way for them. You don't, if you can avoid it, mentor them. You keep it professional. You don't joke around. They don't become your buddies. You don't talk about your personal life because it can come back to bite you even though you're trying to be helpful. No joke. Titled, Am I the a-hole for ignoring the coworker that reported me to HR, which is leading to her likely being fired? And a shout out to Jason for sending the story. He says, I'm not an English speaker, but here it goes. 3 weeks ago, a new person got hired at my job. He's already saying person. He has to be that politically correct. He's already conditioned to be politically correct because of the workplace. Which was a bit odd given the job is extremely specialized and requires a certain skill set, and she has none of them. But regardless, me and my coworkers did our best to welcome her. Notice that in the first paragraph, very specialized skill set, yet they hired her anyway. And she has no skills for this particular line of work. Shocker. It's called, want to make a certain numbers. This many of someone from this background, this many of this person from that background, regardless if they're qualified for the job. And I guarantee you someone that was qualified for the job didn't get the job. Well, that's a change in these days. Hint, hint. After a few days, I more or less became her mentor because she was hopelessly unprepared and unskilled for the job. What'd I just say? She was a nice gal, and as such, I had no problem going the extra mile to help her out. No good deed goes unpunished, amigo. Soon she became friends with me and the people at work. However, all that stopped at the start of week 2. I got a call to my boss's office and got told that HR had a complaint that was filed against me for S-word harassment. Already on week 2, he's getting a freaking complaint about that type of thing, and he's probably like, what S-word harassment? What the hell did I do? I was terrified and racking my brain at what I may have done, but could not come up with anything. Because you didn't do anything. After asking my boss what it was about multiple times, he told me the new gal had filed the complaint, and it was a bit unclear. Yeah, of course it's a bit unclear. She says she's feeling uncomfortable, and therefore they got to investigate, and the guy's the villain here. Welcome to at least how things were. Hopefully things are getting a little... This story's a little old. Somebody sent it to me, but it's a little bit older. Well, I ended up trying to think about it, what I may have done, but I couldn't come up with anything, so I decided to ask her. Bad idea, because now she can say you're harassing her. She told me that I was laying it on thick the other day. Confused, I asked her what she meant, and she said I was flirting with her. I told her I wasn't interested in her and was only being friendly. Uh-oh, now you insulted her. What do you mean you're not interested in me? Because they're all a little narcissists. I didn't do anything weird or flirty with her, but she said I've been flirting with her since she started working there. I'd be like, bitch, you're crazy. I was being friendly. I was being welcoming. I was welcoming you to the team, trying to help you out, blah, blah, blah. This is the thanks I get. Again, I denied it, stating that I had no clue what she was talking about and explained the fact that I am in a relationship. I said I'm not remotely attracted to her and asked for specific examples. Not remotely attracted to her, I guarantee that's got to piss her off. After this, she seemed offended by me saying, wait for it, I'm not remotely attracted to her. So she's making complaints about him making her uncomfortable for being flirtatious and all that. And then he says, I'm not attracted to you. Now she's mad about that. Remember, guys, this is a place of business. Where's the business taking place? How are customers and clients being served when all this junior high drama is going on? Well, I just walked off as she wasn't answering any of my questions, and I asked some of my other coworkers, who are mostly female, if I did anything weird. As during basically all interactions I had with the new girl, at least one of my coworkers was also there. Well, that's good to hear. This is making the point. No being alone with anybody. Shit, anybody. Even the freaking office cat, if there's an office cat. My female coworkers, they all acted no different than usual and were weirded out that she went to HR. As a result, my only idea is that she interpreted me being male, plus being friendly and talking as flirting, and decided to go straight to HR about it. Yeah, she's got an ego. Well, every guy wants me, so therefore, if he's being nice to me, he wants to get my panties. That's her mentality. Miss being offended because he isn't slightly attracted to her. Now, obviously, I no longer want to deal with her out of fear of her misinterpreting stuff I did and getting fired. I like my job, after all. Yeah, you like your job and you got to pay the bills, otherwise you're going to be out panhandling by the freaking local Walmart. Well, now week 3 is over and she's on thin ice. Everyone has stopped helping her. Well, that's what happens when you freaking behave like this. She has no idea what to do half the time and has begged me to help her multiple times. You gotta be shitting me. She reports you, potentially getting you fired, jeopardizing your career, getting labeled as the perv, all that. And now she's coming to you asking for help? Well, this goes to show about women and their perception of guys. Well, he's a nice guy, he helped me, so, he'll probably just help me. Nope. But I just ignored her and only answered with, I'm not comfortable helping you. I'd say, hey, stop flirting with me. You're making me uncomfortable. Last Friday, she came to me again asking me to please help her as she can't afford to lose her job, as she's a single mother and she really needs this job and no one else will help her. Tough shit, asshole. Not my problem. I was helping you. You were unqualified for this job. You shouldn't be at this job. Somebody else that was qualified didn't get the job because of you, no doubt. And now you're whining and want my help. And I don't care if you're a single mom. You probably are a single mom because of picking the wrong guy. I'm willing to bet given your attitude here. Again, I declined and walked away. Good. Now, the day after, I can't help but feel bad for her. But on the other hand, I do not want to put myself at risk. Am I the a-hole? Smack! Dude, snap out of it. This guy's obviously probably a guy we don't like, but he's way too nice. Now he's starting to feel bad because she gave him the single mom speech. For all we know, she probably doesn't even have any kids. But it's trying to make him feel bad. Dude, you're a good guy and you meant well, but look what happened. No, she deserves exactly what's coming to her. So going forward, do not help her. And going forward, that's great you had your female coworkers bail you out, back you up in this whole thing, which is key why he didn't lose his job. But in the future, don't make the same mistake twice. You may be uphill battle against your personality and character, but it's not worth it. Don't feel bad for her. She's going to be out of there real soon. End of story. Now, a few comments here, but before I get to the comments, again, guys, this makes a point. And you have so many gals out there pissed off because guys aren't mentoring them or walking away or blah, blah, blah. Can you blame guys? Really? Are you going to risk after something like this or something like this happened to a friend of yours, a family member, it didn't do anything? Risk that? Hell no. Goes back to the Mike Pence rule, and I know you all know what I'm talking about there. So he's not the a-hole, and I'm guaranteed she's going to get fired eventually. Now, a few comments to show people have support. One guy says, not the a-hole. You went out of your way to help her. She let her massive ego convince her that you're flirting with her. Joking around like friends isn't flirting. And then when she stopped receiving help, she was in trouble because this is not a job she was qualified for in the first place. I get that she needs work, but if she has to constantly rely on others' work, that's her fault for applying for a job she should have stayed away from. Well, it is her fault, but it's also the fault of the company policy to have this many people from this group, this many people from that group, this many women, this many guys, Stupid. Another comment. Not the a-hole. If she can't do her job on her own and she doesn't belong there, you said it's specialized and she should know what she's doing. Otherwise, there should be someone designated to help train her if it was a learning position. And if it was you, then they should have switched someone else after her accusations. She dug her own grave, she can lie in it. Hey, freaking men. But here's the thing. Even if there was somebody else that they could switch her to, do you think they're going to want to be with her? Shit. Even if they switched her to a woman, then she would probably say the woman's hitting on her. And one more. Not the a-hole. I can't imagine being S-word harassed by someone at work and being comfortable enough to not only be around him, not only to talk to him, but to approach him and ask for help. Yeah, if she was so harassed and feeling in danger being with this guy, now she wants him to help her, it doesn't add up. I would want to stay as far away as possible. Perhaps desperation led her to approach you. No, it didn't. If in her mind you in fact harassed her. But you absolutely should not talk to her or be alone with her. As she keeps asking for help, don't just say you're uncomfortable, say you don't want to be falsely accused again, or say nothing. She knows what she did. You're darn right she knows what she did, and I'm willing to bet you this isn't her first bitch-ass rodeo. This people like this, they have a track record. I'm willing to bet you probably the previous job she had probably gave her good references and recommendations because they just want to be rid of her. Think about that. It's very unlikely that this hasn't happened before. But anyhow, guys, there you go. This is exactly why we're in the state that we're in. And again, don't get me wrong. There have been men out there in the past and the present and the future that will cross the line. And come on here. We all have sisters or daughters or some of you wives and girlfriends that certainly wouldn't want genuine bad things to happen to in the workplace, and there were scumbags that did it. But when good guys get reported, for them to just take advantage of it and try to get a lawsuit or something like that, that's despicable. Absolutely. And so I don't feel bad for people like this gal here who's inevitably going to get fired. So anyhow, hope this guy learns his lesson.